Oh, snap, this is a hella good deal. We got hips and tires off the chain. They red and yellow as fuck. Front ones look like new, but back ones has a few skids in them because we don't have no brakes because we so raw. But you could use them for like 1,000,000,000 miles. Use these rubbers for anything you need besides birth control. They so raw. Oh, snap, I'd be holding them right now. You need the shit. It says they are 700 centimeters, but that doesn't make any goddamn sense because they ain't 23 feet diameter, so some bitch is lying to us. But they are 25 millimeters wide, so they roll faster than all your bitch asses on Etsy. Brand is a Nova, and they so fresh because they so colorful they hurt your eyes to look at. $15 or best off for a pair. We got one pair in red and one in yellow. Hot damn! Get them while they in season.
Hey everyone! Welcome to
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Chad.
Hey! Welcome to Best Podcast Ever, episode 4.
Ba, 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 ba.
Joining me this week, as always, are my BFFs, Colette Bennett.
Hi.
And Stella Wong.
I love you guys
We love you so much.
so much.
Your Skype name always is so cute to me, Stella. It says Stella Wrong. Which is so adorable and amazing. It makes me happy.
I'm glad.
So we haven't been reunited for a really long time since before Christmas. So just so everyone knows, like the inside scoop, I don't know if anyone listened to the Destructoid Christmas album, which was a huge hit on Destructoid and kind of needs to be a new annual tradition, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie.
It should be.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
It was amazing. But it was actually originally supposed to be the 4th episode of Best Podcast Ever. We were just going to get on with a bunch of random people and sing Christmas carols, but then we decided that it started to turn into such an epic thing that we decided to turn it into a giant Destructoid thing. But so we would have been with you a little earlier, but because of that we got a little delayed. So now it's February and we kind of took a little bit of a long break.
New Year's,
we were
Christmas.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were busy.
We had stuff to do.
A whole entire
Yeah.
year has changed over since we were talking last, but anyway, we're back and we're so happy, and yeah, everything's great. So we have something depressing to talk about. I don't want to bring down the room, but before we get into that, I have to bring up one thing. On Sunday, the Super Bowl was on. Boo. But during the Super Bowl, the Puppy Bowl was on.
Yay.
Now,
Wait, why is the Super Bowl depressing? I don't understand.
No, that's not the depressing part. The depressing part is what we're going to talk about after the Puppy Bowl. But I want to talk about the Puppy Bowl first so we don't start with something depressing. So I just wanted everyone to know that the Puppy Bowl this year was the best Puppy Bowl ever.
Of course.
It was amazing. There were more cute dogs than I've ever had before. The hamsters flying the blimp were back, which is definitely a favorite of mine. But I have to say, they got rid of the bunny cheerleaders in place of chicken cheerleaders.
Chicken cheerleaders.
Chickens aren't
why?
cute at all.
Why would you ever think that interchanging those two things was good ever?
It doesn't make any
It's not
sense.
a good thing.
No.
No, it's literally it's non-comprehensible in every way.
Chickens.
It
They
is.
do not cheer.
Who cares about chickens?
And chickens are not nearly as cute as bunnies.
No, they
Chickens
aren't.
They don't even have spirits.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
They're just birds that taste good.
they do taste really good.
They're delicious.
But yeah, it was super depressing. But outside of that, there was some really cute dogs. And this year, I voted for my MVP was CB. And
CB.
yeah, and CB actually won the vote. So I was very excited that my vote counted towards the
I like Jersey Boy. He was adorable.
Jersey Boy is adorable. So was Oliver. Oliver was
Oh,
giant
Oliver.
Great Pyrenees. And I love when the big dogs come out of Puppy Bowl because
They're so huge.
They're so huge, and they take up like the entire pen. So all the little dogs are like running around playing, and then the big dog like lumbers out and like knocks over all the little dogs with a big smile on his face. He's like, "I just want to play." And all the dogs are like,
guys.
exactly.
I'm right here. Don't mind me.
And all the other dogs are like cowering in the corner. It's so sad. But yeah, the Puppy Bowl was amazing. I could talk an hour about the Puppy Bowl, so maybe I'll revisit it later. But we can't waste the entire show on that.
You should.
I actually kind of think that maybe next year we should do like a live
Commentary
during the Puppy Bowl.
Hell yeah.
I think that is an amazing idea.
Yeah.
And I think people would love it. And then what would be great is like, okay, we do the live commentary, and then during the commercials, we'd like put the TV on mute, and we would just sing stuff about the Puppy Bowl.
Okay, I think we just came up with the best idea ever, and I'm writing this down because this is so happening.
We're doing it next year, people.
Basically, it'll be like, oh my god, I hope that corgi wins. Oh my god, Chad, did you see that? Stella, oh my god, that's the cutest Shiba Inu ever. Break. And then,
Oh my god.
OMG,
Speaking
OMG.
of cute dogs, over the break, I watched Hachi, A Dog's Tale. Let me tell you right.
oh my god.
Oh my god. Seriously, hold on. I literally lost my mind crying when I saw this movie. It was amazing. The movie's amazing, but it's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So next time I go to Japan, the first time I go to Japan, I have to find that statue. Because apparently there's a statue they built in honor of that dog.
Yeah, it's in Shibuya.
Yeah, I've been to the statue. It's in Shibuya.
You guys have seen the statue? Oh my god.
I think
There's
I have a
pictures of it.
photo. Yeah, I think I have a photo of me standing by the statue that Dale took. But it's like right when you get out of the train station there.
Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. Well, of course, because that's the whole point of it on the train station. And I honestly don't think I can handle it, like seeing that statue. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about visiting that someday. But if anyone out there hasn't seen it, go on your Netflix and rent Hachi, A Dog's Tale. But seriously, prepare yourself because it was like projectile tears. Like my whole like plasma screen TV was like soaking wet with tears.
Aww.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch it, but it's just that first of all, it's not the first time they've filmed the story.
Yeah,
there's an older original Japanese one, and I've seen that one, and I cried my eyes out then.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
this
like
version,
knowing that Richard Gere was in it and like seeing it, I was like.
And like the fact that they changed it to be like an American story is a little bit annoying, but it's the exact same story, so it's not really like that bad, I guess, because it doesn't take place in Japan. But it's fine; it's really good. So anyway, I just got to get sidetracked because the minute I heard you say one of the puppies, I just totally thought about that and how sad it made me. But anyway, okay, video games.
Oh yeah, video games. I forgot about that. Pew, pew, pew.
Okay, so here's the depressing news, and Colette, I know you wanted to talk about this. Hudson is closing down.
No. My life.
I have such mixed feelings about this. There's two things. I can't believe it because I don't like seeing a company down. I think about some of the releases that Hudson have put out like in the last like couple of years, and they're really, except for Bomberman, they're pretty lackluster. I think that's maybe why.
Yeah, I mean,
why going down.
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, they haven't really released anything like amazingly great, like in the last few years or anything. But as someone, as retro fans, obviously, all their old games have such fond memories for us, and to see them go away, it's kind of sad. It's like the end of an era. You know what I mean?
It is.
And remember, we had that guy from Hudson on our show in Retroforce Go, John Lee. That was his name, right?
John.
Yeah.
John Lee was awesome.
Exactly. He was amazing. And that also made me think of him. And I was like, so sad. I was like, no. But yeah, they did Bomberman, of course. They did Bonk's Adventure Island and
good.
And they did Adventure Island. Did I say Bonk's Adventure Island?
Yes.
Bonk.
Well, I knew what you meant.
I know what you meant.
I meant Bonk's Adventure and Adventure Island. Sorry.
That's okay.
That was really embarrassing.
Sorry, I'm laughing hard.
That was almost as bad as my not knowing what the Super Famicom was.
It's okay. We knew what you meant.
Just to be clear, Hudson's not folding as a company. Hudson Japan is folding.
Well, that's still sad.
It's not cool. I mean, you're wrong, but like, I think if I'm not mistaken, Hudson Soft was founded Hudson USA has kind of been around for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
But not as long as. But yeah, they did do the bonk games though.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, because I started second guessing myself, and I was like, once after I called it Bonk's Adventure Island, I started second guessing myself.
But like,
Awesome.
if you go look at like, the American Hudson page, like, and you look at their game list, I mean, I really hate saying this. I hate saying this about anything, but like, it doesn't look too good, dude. Like the stuff on there, it's like I almost look at it and go, yeah. I kind of feel like they were kind of like riding Bomberman out. And like Deca Sports was a horrible game. Horrible.
Yeah. And you're totally right, because it's like, it's one of those companies where they were so popular back in the day when they were making all their like mascot games, but then they never really kind of caught up with like modern technology.
Oh no.
So they're like
back in time.
Yeah, exactly. They're still stuck in the past, and then all these like new games are coming out, all these new things, and they're like, let's release a new Bomberman. And everyone's kind of like, wah, wah.
Yeah, they did.
Trombone.
But
Yeah,
it is sad.
They did Lost in Shadow, which I actually like. But
Oh, they did do Lost in Shadow. That game was pretty cool.
yeah, they did Lost in Shadow. But yeah, you're right. Like beyond that, I really kind of feel like maybe they were a little stagnant, and I think that Hudson Japan. I haven't kept up with Hudson's Japanese releases, but I feel like Hudson Japan will do fine
Yeah.
on their own.
Yeah.
You know?
They will.
Yeah, they'll probably be fine. It's just sad to see a company that I used to love so much kind of like go away forever. It's weird.
I know it is weird.
It just makes me feel old and makes me feel like things are changing like for real. Like I don't know. It just kind of freaked me out a little bit.
I know you're like, no!
I know. I think I actually did that exact same thing. I was like, no!
On the other hand, in the end of an era gaming news, I'm very excited to hear that Guitar Hero is being retired by Activision.
Yes, finally.
Yes. Like, honestly,
I know. I'm like,
more Rock Band songs for me.
I know. Actually, Jim Sterling made me laugh today. He tweeted about it, and he said, "What already? I thought you had another 367 games to go." I'm so glad that it died before we got whatever, like Rock Band, like Guitar Hero, Lady Gaga or something.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
honestly, like this sounds awful because obviously I'm a huge video game fan, but I have to admit too, I was kind of not sad about that because, like, the first Guitar Hero, great. Like the first couple Rock Bands, great. Like they were fun. I had a great time with them. But after a while, like it just nothing new, and it's just like move on. We needed, So to see this happen, it kind of makes me officially feel like maybe this genre might be gone forever.
No, it's still going on. Like Rock Band, I still play that every time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like new versions. Like I can go back.
Oh yeah, new versions will never come out.
Like, I mean, I can go and play my old Guitar Hero. Fine at parties, whatever. I have a great time, but stop releasing brand new ones. It seems like
it's a very old trick puppy.
Yeah,
like one trick puppy kind of thing.
But speaking of kind of recent things, Colette, I don't know if you've played this yet, but have you played Ghost Trick?
No, everyone is talking about it and like salivating over it. And
I'm salivating over it.
see, I hate to admit this, but I'm still so behind. Like, I mean, I'm playing 999 right now, which came out like several months ago. But like, I'm
gonna
just
play
now
that
playing
next.
it.
I actually just beat that last night. Like, I'm with you, Colette. I just got around to it just recently.
Did you get the bad ending? Because everyone says that's the easiest one to get first.
Well, you have to get one bad ending to get to the other ones. Like, there's one ending that happens no matter what, and then that kind of like opens the door to all the other endings. But yeah, so you'll get the bad ending automatically, then you replay it. But it's cool because once you replay it, you can skip all the dialogue that you already went through, and then just kind of do all the new puzzles. But it has one of the I know I'm the king of hyperbole, but I actually think it has one of the best endings of like any video game ever. It's amazing.
I can't wait to play it.
So it's totally worth playing through it. So like definitely.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
like
it's
everyone
out of control.
Like, I mean, I've had several people whose like opinion on games I really hold in high standard say it's so incredible. It's gonna blow your mind. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Like, and I mean, really, like even playing the beginning of it, I was like, wow, this is completely exactly like what I want in games. Like when I played it, I was like, this is exactly what I want. So
you're gonna love it then. Oh my god, it just gets better and better. Like it starts off good, but it just gets stronger and stronger. And then the end, you're like, what the F? It's like it's one of those games where you will never in 1,000 years guess how it's gonna end. If you do, then you're like a genius. Because it has one of the most cool. It's kind of like a very. It's not like the Sixth Sense at all, but I use that as an analogy just because the Sixth Sense came at like the ending was so brilliant. You know, it just kind of like took everyone by surprise, and it was just so shocking. And I feel like the ending of 999 is on that same level, where it's just like, what the f, like, and it totally screws with your mind in like a really good way. So you're gonna love it. I can't wait to hear. So the next time we record, hopefully you'll be done and we can talk about it.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like I really just haven't had that. I really haven't had that much. I haven't had that much time to play games lately, and I hate to say that, but like I've been so busy with Tomopop, I just haven't had a lot of free time. So I'm hoping that maybe like in the future, you know, I'll have more game time. I hate not having a lot of game time.
I know.
When life gets in the way, I kind of get pissed. I'm like, don't fuck with me. I need my game time.
Make some time. That's what I do.
Well,
My life is all busy too, but I make time for video games every night before I go to bed.
Yeah, no.
Even if it's on the DS, yeah, just at least a little bit. Because I was in the same boat as you, Colette, and I think that's one of the reasons we didn't record as much is because like with the holidays and I just moved recently and like there was so much going on that I was like, oh my god, I haven't played a game in like a really long time, and it was kind of freaking me out. I was in withdrawals.
Aw.
But now I'm back.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
Well,
But anyway,
speaking of back to that stuff for sure.
Speaking of Ghost Trick, like I know you haven't played it, Colette, and I actually just started it last night, so I've only played one level. But Stella says it's incredibly good.
It's so good.
So
you have no idea.
And like honestly, the one level I played was so polished and the animation was so beautiful that I am like so looking forward to playing the whole thing. So maybe next show we can discuss that as well because I cannot wait. And
Yes,
everyone,
I want to spoil that game, but I know that Chad hasn't gotten that far and you haven't played it, so I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, definitely don't spoil it because I also heard that also has a really good.
That's a game that you gotta discover for yourself. It's just one of the special
Can you
treats.
guys tell me the outline?
From what I got so far is basically like you wake up, well not really wake up, but the game starts and you're dead, like your character's dead. And and then like there's like a guy with a gun like pointing at this like woman and he's going to shoot her, and then like this like spirit comes on, he's like, "Oh, you're dead, but you could still possess objects that aren't living, like, you know, like organic objects." So then like you have to like go around different levels and save people's lives by jumping into objects and manipulating the objects. And what's really cool is the objects actually react how they really would in real life. Like if you go inside like a fan, like you could turn the fan on, or if like you go inside a refrigerator, you can like open the refrigerator door, and like it's actually, and then like in a way it kind of reminds me, I mean, Stella, you obviously played the whole thing, so I don't know if it's like this through the whole game, but it kind of reminds me of like Mousetrap, where it's like every item kind of like affects another item, and then it kind of like, it's like a chain reaction.
That's
it's
the whole game, basically. And basically you can't reach every object. You only have like a short distance.
Yeah, I did notice that too. You only can
to connect whatever's the closest thing, and then you have to hop onto another item. And hop onto another one until you get to a specific item that you really need, because you're rewinding back 5 minutes before your death.
Yeah, you can also go back in time to like, save
that's
people's
so
lives.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really good.
It's amazing. So like everyone is like freaking out on me on Twitter and like on emails, and they're like, "Chad, how have you not played this yet?" And I'm like, "Settle down!" And like knock everything off my desk. I'm like, I'm getting around to it.
No, I had people freaking out about it for a while too. So like I finally finished it. It doesn't take long to finish it.
I can't wait though.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you guys this, Colette and Stella. Now that it's out and now that you've officially played it, you have to give me a breakdown on the Catherine demo. Please
it's very intense.
Yeah, it's very intense.
Very intense.
You know, my most exciting thing about it, I think, like, just what thrills me beyond the fact that like I really like the quality of it's like it's so exciting for me to play a Persona team game on a modern like current console in HD. Like, I mean, you know, all the Persona games, the recent ones have been on PS2, so it's like seeing this, I mean, it's just masturbatory. Like, I'm beyond excited. I mean, I
can agree more.
I booted that shit up, and when I heard that music, I'm not joking, okay? So my TV's in my bedroom, you know? So you fire it up, and it's got like that, you know, that Shoji Meguro, like, kind of like hip-hoppy, kind of like dancey music. And as soon as I heard that music, I was standing in front of my TV with my controller, and I swear to God, I was like, yeah, and I started dancing. I was like, yeah, on my mind, yeah. Like if someone had seen me
God.
They would have just like fucking died. Like it was so embarrassing.
Oh, I love you.
But I couldn't help myself. I was like, yeah. But like, I mean, I've written about the game before. Like I've written about the game extensively, and I really think that it's going to live up to everything. Like, you know, the first level you play, you're like, okay, it's kind of like
very
Q*bert,
like
right? It's like
kind of like
Q*bert meets
tutorialist.
Mm.
Yeah, it's Q*bert meets Persona. You know, that's cool, whatever. You know, and then you're like, okay, well, I guess the gameplay could get a little bit, you know, stale, maybe. You know, like if I did it too much. And then you play the next level where you're being chased by this fucking creature.
Whoa, that sounds cool to me.
With a fork. Yeah, it
claws.
slashes the blocks where you're like where you've already passed. So you have to hustle your ass to go all the way up to the doors.
Yeah. And like and as it slashes, you like all the like the blocks that touches, like you can still move them, but they become slower. So like you're basically on like a chase against the clock, and you have to figure out the puzzle of like how to build, because it's like a flat wall, and you have to figure out where to pull the cubes out to move up as you go.
Yeah, you can pull some out, and then you can pull some on the side to make stairs to climb up. But there's like always something in the way.
Well, it's also Atlas too, so you know the story's going to be amazing and super dramatic. Like,
yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like, you know, I mean, my comprehension, Stella, yours is surely much higher than mine, of the conversations they're having. Like, there's a cutscene, you know, there's a couple of cutscenes, but my comprehension is about 35%. I mean, like, I understand that, like, the other Catherine kind of wants to get married, and then I understand that the guys, like, the conversation the guys were having was way too long. Like, I couldn't understand most of that conversation. In fact, you know, that might be useful. Stella, did you understand all their conversation? Do you want to tell people what they were saying?
Majority of it is just trying to conversate of his dreams, trying to figure out what's going on with him. And he can't figure it out, so he's trying to ask for advice what he could do about them.
Because he's really upset about the dreams, basically. And then the other Catherine shows up that same day, right?
Yes. That same morning that he couldn't figure out how it happened. And that's where it ends, pretty much. And then it shows you, like, parts of the games of what's going to happen next.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm actually genuinely interested in that game. I think there's been so much hype on it, especially on Destructoid, that I'm just, like, so fascinated by it that I think when hopefully it'll come here to America, and if it does...
I think it's popular enough because they took it down from PSN because there were so many downloads.
Oh, that's good news. That's good news.
They took it off, so that might be a hint.
I didn't actually know that.
Yay! That's good for us American English speakers.
Well, but here's the thing. Atlas bring over games. They bring over games that, like, really I don't think are going to sell that much in the first place.
Yeah.
So, like, they
do bring them
like,
out.
Yeah, I mean, they bring, like, Dark Spear. Jesus Christ, that game is hard as fuck.
It is.
Like, I don't feel like they take these games and they're like, you know, like they're like, oh, what's going to sell in America? Like, I think they're more like, hey, what would gamers really like? Which thrills me because it's like, holy shit, you know, like stuff that I want to play.
Yep, that's why I respect them so much.
Me too. That they're my favorite company, and that's the reason why, because they're one of the only companies left that are still doing that.
You're totally right, because like almost every one of their games that comes out, I mean, some of them are huge hits, like, but I feel like it's almost by luck, because I feel like you're right. Most of the games they release, I'm like, who's gonna buy that? Except for like me, you, and Dale North and Stella. But yeah, right. So I can't wait to play that. That sounds fun to me. Oh, and I want to ask you also, Colette, how was MagFest?
Okay, let me just tell you also about MagFest, okay?
Just to give a shout-out to who asked the questions, it was Cupa in the comments who asked about it, so I just want to give him a shout-out. So go ahead, Colette. I'm so fascinated because it sounds like you had the best time ever.
I've already heard her talk about it in different podcasts, but I still want to hear it.
You've already heard. My favorite gaming event I've ever been to.
What?
Ever. That includes E3, Tokyo Game Show, all the passes, GDC. GDC is a close second because it's so interesting. Mm-hmm. But I have never had so much fun at a con in my entire life.
Wow.
Okay? It's basically a 72-hour con. It never stops happening. So you get to the hotel, you know, on Thursday night or whatever, you get your passes. You walk in. It's split level. So there's like the top level where your registration happens, and then there's like tables where all the bands have like their merchandise set up, etc. And then you get your badge or whatnot, and then you go downstairs. You go down this escalator, and you go to the bottom level, and it feeds you right into the merch room, which is not too big. The concert room is right off that room, and then off to the right on the other side of that room, they have about 60 arcade machines set up, and then you walk into another room, and the whole room is multiplayer gaming with like every multiplayer game you can imagine. They have like Japanese cabinets for like, like shooters.
God.
Yeah, Stella. No, like I was thinking about it so much. I was like, I really want Stella to be here. There was a Poppin' Music cabinet, a Tyco cabinet.
Oh my God, I would have died.
You would have died. You would have fucking died. They had a PS3 set up with the version of Project Diva that they ported to the PS3. They had that set up. Yeah, this fucking guy was on it, and he would not get off it. I was like, get off!
You should have punched him off. It's been my
really
turn, bitch.
I know. I was so pissed. I was just like, ah. But yeah, they had vintage games in there too. So like you could be playing Poppin' 1 second, and then you could turn around and be playing like Castlevania the next second.
Oh my God,
like,
my heaven.
Yeah, you would die. Like, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how amazing this was. Okay, and then like after a certain hour, I mean, like stuff keeps going on. So like Dale and I would go and do something, and then like we'd go rest for a while, and then we get up at like 8 and we go to like have a drink at the bar or something, and then we'd go downstairs and there'd be like two guys like playing, like making chip tunes and like jamming the fuck out in the merch room, and like
oh my lordy,
in there, these people would just be dancing their asses off, and you dance, and then someone would be like, hey, come in here, they're starting a rock band tournament, and you'd go do that, and like it was just on and on and on. Okay,
I need to go next year.
You have to go, please. If you need someone to share like a room, let me know, because honestly, I've never had so much fun. I've never met so many interesting people, and the best part of it is the maximum amount of people that the hotel could have, I believe, is either 2,000 or 3,000. I think 3,000. So this year they met the fire code maximum. So they, in order to continue next year, they have to move to a bigger space, which they're going to. But the size makes it so during the course of the event, you see your friends. You see people. It's never so, like, PAX is so big. If you don't plan with people, you could so easily miss them. But
definitely.
And, it's like, it's pretty cheap to go. I think it's like $30. Well, I mean, the ticket. You have to, of course, book your air.
That's not bad.
But I think it's $30 for the badge, I believe.
I was going to plan to go on this year, but like work has stopped me from going to MagFest from the previous years. I've always wanted to go to MagFest. I think I have to plan it for next year.
I literally beg you and Chad and any person ever who has ever considered going to go. It's almost this is the 9th year. So it's, coming close to its 10th year, and it's like, I'm sure it's only going to continue to grow, but I can't push enough the idea that you really, if you're a gamer and you love everything about like the gaming community, that like where gamers get along and they just jive and then like everything is really chill and it works well, dude, you have to do it. Like,
that sounds like my dream.
Please go. Please, anyone listening, I beg you, go.
Well, so I guess this is a dumb question, but I'm assuming you're definitely going to go next year then.
I told this to the MagFest founder. I said, he was like, how'd you like it? I said, I will never miss another MagFest, no matter what.
Wow.
Never.
Well,
so good.
Stella, you and I need to talk. So since we're the two West Coast people, we need to make a plan to go out.
We should fly out together.
Wait. We could get, hold on. They have panels too. We could get a room together, and we could also do a Best Podcast Ever panel. Anthony and Ashley were there. They did a Hey Ash, What You Playing panel, and Topher was there, and he also did an Electric Hydra panel.
Oh, my God.
We could do that.
Plan now. You got a year to plan.
It could be like a Best Podcast Ever / like Retroforce panel, because I know like people would be happy to like have a little bit of Retroforce reunion.
And I mean, I'm sure Topher's right there. I'm sure he wouldn't mind coming back to join us for a Retroforce panel.
Of course he would. Oh my God! Okay, we're going. Stella, we're making a plan.
Okay, yay! Let's go.
Okay. Let's have we can do the Retroforce room. That'll be perfect.
Yes. Oh my God. We're going to have a Retroforce. Oh my God. I'm already excited about this. And just so you know, listeners out there, like, just to get you motivated to go, you have not lived on this earth until you've seen Stella play pop music in front of you or a fighting game in front of you. So like, if that will be there, you can witness it. You have not lived. It is like watching like The Wizard.
No, it's not.
No, it is. Stella's, she's like a prodigy.
It's just with rhythm games and fighting games. That's it.
I know, but you're amazing at it. I would rather be really, really good at one or two genres than just like okay at everything, which is how I feel like now. Like I feel like now I'm really good at like
it's all
every genre, but I'm not like amazing at one genre.
It's all practice. You can do it too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
You can be a wizard.
Stella.
Stella, I really think you need to admit that you have like genius talent. I think that's really important. I mean,
I agree.
Like, really, I do.
She's very humble, which is very endearing.
Yeah. I know. One more quick plug about MagFest too. So many bands. Like $30. Oh my God. Okay, so over the weekend, I saw probably 10 video game bands. I saw the One Ups, which is the band that Dale used to be in. I saw a guy doing freestyle rapping about video games. He was like up on stage. I have to look up his name because he's so amazing, okay? So this guy's up there, right? And like he has this little video thing. So he'd be like, "Hey guys," he'd be like, just yell out the name of a band, like of a game rather, any game. You know, when everyone's like screaming shit, you know, Contra, Metroid, Super Mario, whatever. And so he's like taking all the suggestions. After they all come down, he writes down their name. And then I shit you not, after he gets enough suggestions, the guy starts freestyle rapping and he works every single name in. Okay?
Badass.
Like every single game, and he's just flowing. I have to find out his name. It blew my mind.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
So while the people were screaming, okay, they're all screaming every game you can think of, you know, and it's going on for like a minute or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a moment where like you could tell that people have yelled most of the major games they can think of, and they're kind of thinking. This guy goes, "Mortal Kombat!" like at the top of his lungs. And he sounded just like
And Colette, I can see you too, like, just being like full nerd mode and being like, yeah!
Everyone just started screaming at the top of their lungs. I mean, it was ridiculous, dude.
Oh my God, you know what that reminds me of? Like, I have to tell the story again. If people that are listening that didn't listen to Retro Force go, I have to tell the story again, because I know you love the story, Colette. But, like, that totally reminds me of that one time when I was on my roof during July 4th.
Yes, the lava story.
Yes, and then in the middle of, like, because, like, on the top of my old roof, like, during July 4th, it's in LA, so there's, like, literally hundreds of fireworks all around you. Like, it was the coolest thing ever. And in the middle of that, some guy from another building yells at the top of his lungs. He goes, "It's the day of Lavos!"
I love that story.
It's still to this day is the greatest thing ever, but I never, ever found out who it was. It's like, I feel like one day we're going to be, like, united on, like, a dark train. Like, all of a sudden, like, I'll look up and I'll hear someone say Day of Lavos, and I'll be like, "It's you."
I hate to say it, but I don't think you'll ever be reunited with that person. I think that it's all about, like, trains passing in the night.
It really was. That moment was so great because I didn't know who it was. I didn't know. It just came out of the darkness. Like, that was what was so great. So, yeah. And the best part was, too, is I was with a bunch of friends who obviously don't play video games. And, like, I was laughing. So I actually wasn't even laughing. I was almost crying because I was so happy that happened. And I was like, I looked at everyone, like, hoping that somebody in the group would, like, understand what and they all looked at me like they had no idea what was happening. And I was like, "Do you understand what just happened?" And no one got it, but it was amazing.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, that just reminded me of that. So, okay. We've already been talking for freaking 35 minutes. I don't know how that happened.
Because
Puppy
that's
Bowl.
how it happened.
Because that's true. The Puppy Bowl that is a little bit distracting, and MagFest. The combination of the Puppy Bowl and MagFest is like head explode. But before we go to a break, I want to quickly give a shout out to Sonic9JCT. Sonic9JCT is a huge fan of our Best Podcast Ever, and he also is a huge fan of Retroforce. And he said in the comments that he finally saw Showgirls for the first time, which I feel like very proud. When people see that movie, I'm like, I feel like a proud dad. Like, I'm so glad you finally introduced it to your life. But then I feel really
By the way, I met him at MagFest, and he's amazing.
Wait, what?
I met him at MagFest. His Facebook profile photo is me and him at MagFest right after we played Taiko Drum Master together.
He is one of the people I've wanted to meet for so long because he's been such a super fan. How cool!
Gosh, I guess you better come to MagFest then.
Oh, I'm definitely coming now. But he finally saw Showgirls, and I feel a little dirty when I recommend it to people because I realize that some of our listeners are like underage, so then I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna get like arrested or something.
No.
But I don't know if he's underage. I'm just saying in general. But his favorite line, which made me also feel very happy because this is also one of my favorite lines, is when Nomi's boyfriend in the movie goes, "Everyone's got AIDS and shit."
Oh God, Chad, it's been so long since you and I watched it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's been years.
Colette, I'm going to guarantee you that the next time we are together, either in New Orleans or in LA, wherever we happen to meet again, I'll bring my Blu-ray, Showgirls Blu-ray, which by the way is the greatest thing ever invented, and then we will watch it together because I'm actually putting this out there to everybody. No one on this planet understands what it's like to watch Showgirls with Colette and I together. It is ridiculous.
Because of you, Chad, I have that on Blu-ray.
I'm very proud that you say that, but then I think about that, I'm like, that makes me feel horrible that like I'm associated with this awful sexual like.
No, it's the greatest movie ever. If you think about it,
it is the greatest movie ever. I'm not arguing, but it's just so awful. I feel so bad.
No, don't.
It's so good. So yes, Colette.
What's that line?
Which
where he
line?
Talks about like the line where he says something about like at least people are coming on you anymore.
Oh, okay. This is exactly the line. Now, for the people that are faint of heart, don't like to hear me say bad words, please cover your ears because you're going to probably hear the most disgusting thing I've ever uttered in my entire life. But basically, okay, Nomi used to be a stripper, and then she auditions for this amazing Las Vegas show, and she gets cast in it. So then when like the guy who's like the guy who owned the strip club, who's this horrible, horrible man who totally abuses women, he comes back to see her at the Las Vegas stage. And then, like, when he leaves to say goodbye, this is what he says. No joke. He says, "Must be nice, not having guys come all over you."
Oh, my God. Oh, fuck. It's so good.
Saying it out loud makes you realize how ridiculous it really is. And the best part is he says it with such a straight face, and that's why it's such a great line, because it's like so serious. Oh God, now I gotta watch that movie like right now. Anyway, we're getting distracted again. Okay, so we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk more about video games, obviously. Some Valentine's-y stuff, since, by the time you guys listen to this, Valentine's Day will almost be here. So then we'll also get to some community questions, of course, because you guys are amazing. And so we will be right back after the break. Break! I love you guys. So we're back, and we're ready for action.
Oh, yeah.
Top off.
Woohoo!
I'm rubbing oil all over my six-pack.
Very delicious.
Yeah. Okay, so we wanted to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day stuff. We realized that, like, we don't want to be like, oh, the best video game couples ever. We've done that like 1,000 times with Retroforce Go, so we're not going to do anything like cheesy like that or whatever. But I thought actually it would be nice just to kind of go through. We could go through some of the comments because there's actually some really, really, really good questions. A lot of them Valentine's Day related, so we can definitely get to those. But actually, before we even start that, I just wanted to ask you guys in general, like, do you guys have any like amazing memories of Valentine's Day or any like horrible memories of Valentine's Day? There's a couple people that asked about just in life about like really, really bad Valentine's Day stories, and it made me kind of think about like, I don't know if I've ever asked you guys that before.
You know, I've never, like, I don't have any Valentine's Day horror stories. The worst thing that I would be able to say about Valentine's Day was that I didn't have a Valentine's Day. There's been many days like that, but I've never had a, like, oh my god, like, everything in the world is wrong kind of Valentine's thing.
Yeah, me either. I could care less about Valentine's Day. It's not even that big of a deal for me. Like, even if I have someone or don't have somebody, so I'm like, I'm kind of with you, Colette. I'm like, it's not like the end of the world for me, so, but anyway. So yeah, let's just get to some of these questions. There's actually some really good ones about Valentine's Day, so we'll get to that. Oh, actually, really quickly, I wanted to give a shout out to Handy. Even though he kind of was like angry, Handy was just saying like, it's been months since your last show. Like, I can't believe you're not back. And I just wanted to say like, I know like our whole philosophy with Best Podcast Ever is no pressure, no stress. Yeah, we just get together when we have some things to talk about and we record a podcast. Like if we started, it's so much like more zen.
It's better this way.
Yeah, because like if every week, we could easily talk every week. Don't get me wrong. We could talk every day. We have so much to talk about. Right. But it's just, I don't know, it's more relaxing when we just get together. And it's also a surprise. So then like you wake up and you're like, when's there going to be a new episode? Who knows?
Ta-da, surprise.
Exactly.
Podcast in your face.
Yeah. I know that I think some people wish we were more consistent. And I mean, I really can understand because, I know that they're used to us being consistent with Retroforce Go. And all I can really say about that is, sorry, we're just going to do it when we feel like doing it, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the thing with this spin-off podcast. It's like we didn't really want to recreate Retroforce Go. Retroforce Go, as we can all agree, was like some of the best years of our lives, like an amazing experience, like with the greatest group of friends ever. Like, it was awesome. But we didn't want to like try to recreate that because that would never happen. So we thought, okay, let's just get together, like the majority of the group that can still do it, and we'll just get together once in a while, have a good time, and talk about games, and like that's it. If we put any more pressure on that, it's going to look like we're trying to duplicate Retroforce Go, which will never happen. So
right, and we don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's our official stance.
We don't want to get burnt out either.
I agree with that 100%. So, and also we talked about Puppy Bowl for 15 minutes. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, we can talk about anything we want. It's too incredible. I love it.
Best podcast ever. Okay, so a lot of people brought this up in the comments. In particular, Azarus and Garrison. They wanted to say, I think we might have talked about this before, but I want to know if there's any new updates. If you could bring one video game character to an orgy or a booty call, who would it be? And I have to ask this to Colette because I feel like Colette's taste has changed over the years since I first met you.
What video game character I would bring to an orgy or a booty call? So it can't be someone that I would want to have a real romance with.
Exactly. It's who are you just so physically attracted to? Because the reason I bring this up too is not because Colette, when I first met you, I feel like you kind of maybe were more attracted to some more rugged looking guys. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just kind of had that impression. But I feel like now you're all about Tidus and Final Fantasy X.
No, actually, that's funny you should say that actually, because I've always liked effeminate looking men, but the Japanese obsession has only helped to further that.
I think that's what it is then, yeah.
Yeah, but there are times when I find a really masculine man attractive still as well. And I think I've said on the show before that when I played Final Fantasy X that I had a crush on Waka, who's a moron, but for whatever reason I just thought he was really hot. So who am I going to take to a party or an orgy?
I mean, it's kind of creepy to talk about video game characters like that because they're not real, but you know what we're going for. It's more of just the type you like.
Are you kidding? I have totally had more jizz fantasies about people that aren't real. I can't believe you even put that disclaimer on there.
I know we're nerds here.
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh man, you know it's a tough choice. I think I'm gonna go with Liguana Lore from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think that's who I'm gonna go with. And you know,
wow, that is a surprise answer.
That is surprising.
No, I've always had a really terrible crush on him, but see, it's hard because like he's kind of I don't know. See, maybe he's better to be a character that's like that you want to actually go on dates with. You know what? I take it back. I'll.
Yeah, it needs to be someone
Squall's
just
not
like
really very nice. Yeah, Squall is more kind of like a jerk. I think Iguana is someone that I would want to go on a real date with.
Yeah, Squall is kind of an ass. Like, you have to be honest. Like, he's pretty kind of a jerk.
He is. But yeah, you know, I'll save Liguana for the real date.
Actually, this is a question I just thought of while you were talking. I was like, have you ever met someone in real life that's actually looked like somebody that you fantasize in a video game? Like,
I have.
Really, Stella? Oh my god, I have to hear this right now. Okay, go tell the story.
It's a very embarrassing story.
No, okay, that's even better.
No, I don't think I could tell.
Oh, come on, Stella, it's not fair.
Okay, wait, Stella, before you tell it, Colette.
What is this?
Colette?
Can we make that the header for the...
Yes, 100%. If not the header, then at least I'm linking to it. Okay, Colette just sent some fan art for... Oh my god, I'm actually about to pee my pants off. I gotta take a deep breath. Colette just sent some fan art for Laguna fan art, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Colette, did you draw that? Please say you did.
If I had drawn that, I would think that I was the coolest person in the universe.
Oh my god, you guys can't see this, but like I'm seriously crying. Like tears, tears are like streaming down my cheeks right now.
It's fantastical. Oh my god.
But it's up to the
I can actually hear Chad crying.
I'm seriously, you have no idea. Like it's like streaming down my cheeks. Whew, okay, I gotta take a deep breath. I know this is a listening podcast, so it's not nearly as funny, but when you get you guys, I'm gonna put this on the post, so you have to check this out. I hope it lives up to the hype because honestly, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Whew, okay, I'm so sorry.
Why don't you actually try to describe it? Just describe it so they know what you're looking at.
Okay, that's actually a really good idea. Okay, so Laguna is on top, and he's kissing, I guess. Is that right? No.
It looks like a fox girl.
Yeah, it's just like I guess it's like a generic Final Fantasy girl, and they're wrapped in like bondage straps.
What is that?
And like they're holding hands like on their chests, and like it's just like the quality of the drawing, and like their lips are touching. It's just so. Like some kid like was so fantasizing about this until he sketched it on his sketch pad and then like uploaded it to the internet. Colette, how did you find this? It is yours, isn't it? I knew it.
Ever.
Yeah, I looked up Laguna. I don't know why I was saying Liguana, but I looked up Laguna just out of curiosity, and that was like one of the first pictures that came up. Not joking.
You know why it came up first is because everybody is probably looking at it. It's probably become like the most popular search picture for Laguna fan art. Okay. Anyway.
I mean, clearly, look at it. I mean, you have eyes, right? God, look.
That's the most beautiful thing.
Oh, it is so ridiculous. Wow. Okay. I really needed that. That kind of took me over the edge. Whew. Okay. Sorry, Stella. We didn't mean you did not, by the way, you didn't get out of telling the story. I know it's embarrassing, but you have to tell it. So please.
I'll tell it someday.
You're not gonna tell it right now?
No, I'll keep it.
All right.
Dad wants it right now.
Stella. I'm looking at you with my very. I have my.
I'll tell it another
my
day.
glasses on my nose, like Stella. Okay, I won't embarrass you. Well, we'll save this for another time.
Another time.
Anyway.
All right.
I can't unsee this Laguna fan art, so I
can't unsee it either.
I have to close it from my because I had it on my. I had it just sitting here, and I'm like laughing, but I'm like, if I don't close it, I'm not going to be able to continue with the show. Whew. Okay.
Oh, I can't breathe now.
Okay, back to the show. So Fugly Duckling in the comments says, what do you think were the best love stories that never happened? Basically, like, are there any couples maybe that have been on games where you maybe thought they were going to get together or they could have got together but they never did? I thought that was a really good question.
Yes. Cloud and Tifa. Motherfucking ass.
Well, that's like the number one. That's exactly what I had written down too. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Tifa.
Not that I think Cloud deserves her, because I don't really.
I actually kind of am with you. I think Cloud's kind of a jackass.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think I developed empathy for Cloud because of what he went through, but, like, beyond that, I really genuinely, like, I mean, like, in a way, like, you kind of, I think it's because she adores him so much, but I think he's too stupid to ever, like, really, well, not stupid, dense is a better word.
Dense,
I think
that's perfect.
I think he's too dense to really, you know?
That's my problem I had too. It's like I loved her so much as a character that I was actually angry that she liked him so much because I was like, he's obviously not giving you any attention back. And I'm like, move on. I'm like, there's so many other people in Midgar.
Yeah, but think about it. Think about it. What if you had grown up around someone that you had always loved? Like,
yeah, you're totally right.
A little girl. Right. She really, I mean, in my opinion, she can't. She really can't. So, you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, but like it's such a classic story because, like, you know, there's always that relationship where the girl and the boy are friends like their whole life. The girl's like in love with him, and he might maybe at some point maybe had feelings for her, but kind of never acted on it. And then a new girl comes in the picture who's never been in the picture before. She's brand new to the whole group, and all of a sudden he falls madly in love with her, and she has to deal with that. Like, that's like torturous. Like, that's pretty tragic if you think about it. I don't know.
Kind of reminds me of.
And then she dies, and instead of being like finding comfort in Tifa, who's like the greatest girl ever, he doesn't even look at her at all like that. He's just like, "Oh, I'm so depressed that Eris is dead."
It reminds me of Cain and Rosa, like that whole story where they've been together this whole time, but he never gets the girl. It's like,
actually, you know what's really interesting about that? That's totally reverse, like gender reverse, because it's like, you know, with Tifa and Cloud, it's like the girl's infatuated with the guy.
Yeah.
But with Cain and Rosa, like he's infatuated with her, and she never really likes him back. But it's funny, like I look at him two different ways. Like for some reason, I actually like feel I relate more to Tifa than I really relate to Cain, and I don't know why that is because it's like the same story. Maybe it's because Cain ends up being kind of like a jerk. You know, and he turns into an enemy. I don't know. That's interesting to me. I should go to a psychiatrist about that. Shad asks, Shad, S-H-A-D, I guess it is Shad. I just don't want to pronounce it wrong. Shad. What is the worst attempt at a romantic plot you have ever seen in a game?
There's so many tough ones.
Yeah, like, I feel like there's a lot of Final Fantasy romances that just do not work at all.
No.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Final Fantasy almost has the best romances too. So I feel like they have a little bit of the best and a little bit of the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're always shooting. You know what? Actually, the worst one that comes to the very top of my head is Snow and the girl in Final Fantasy, the girl that he was with in... yeah, like that should have been good, but it sucked.
Wait, what you talking about?
Snow and the girl that he was into in
Lightning
Final
Sister.
13.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13. For some reason, I didn't recognize Snow, but yeah, of course, yeah, that was crazy.
That one never resonated for me. I mean, I was just like,
whatever.
Sorry, and like their dialogue was so terrible. It was so sappy. I just hated it. I mean, I don't mind some sap. Obviously, I like stuff, but like theirs was to the point to where I couldn't even appreciate it.
Well, what about the going really, really old? What about like the classic relationships of like Mario and Peach and like Link and Zelda? Like technically, I think you're supposed to think that there's something there because I think that just thinking that Mario and Link are saving their princesses for no reason it would be weird. I think that they want you to think, oh, that there's some kind of attraction there. But don't you think it's odd that there really has never been any romance, like physical romance or any discussion between them about romance in all the years? It's interesting.
I always felt that they were like a married couple, but with no romance. Like they had to be linked together no matter what. Just because you've grown up with those two couples all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, I really have not thought much about, like, I feel like their relationships are only the most base relationships. Like, you know, one of them's a princess and the other is always, you know, going to save the princess. But, like, I mean, I guess in later games you get a little bit of background about them, but I still don't feel like it's really much.
No, not at all.
So it's like, I don't really, like, I'm not like, oh, they're not realistic, because honestly, I don't think about their relationship seriously, like, ever.
No, I actually totally like agree with you. And in Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link for the Nintendo, that's the only time you actually see them kiss. Like at the very end of the game, when you beat it, like the curtain goes down in front of them, and right before the curtain goes down, they kind of like gesture that they're about to kiss. And that was the only moment in all the Zelda games where they actually have some kind of like romantic connection. A little bit in Ocarina of Time, but I agree. It's weird. It's like I don't know if you're supposed to assume it's romantic or you're supposed to think they're friends. Like, it's kind of really odd, like, that they haven't really delved into that. That'd be kind of interesting if, like, one day Zelda, like, maybe if, like, they ever add voice acting, which I think would be awful. I hope they never do that. But if they do, but if they ever do, or they decide to maybe focus more on, like, a story, when we saw what happened with Metroid Other M, so maybe that's not the best idea. But if they ever decide to focus more on the story, maybe it would be kind of interesting to see if they ever kind of, like, put a romantic plot between them, like, how that would change the whole game. Like, I don't know. Like, it might be worth an experiment at least. I don't know. It could be interesting. Who knows?
It might be. I mean, you really, you know.
That'd be weird, though. That'd be weird.
It would be weird.
I think you're kind of right, though. I think like Stella's kind of onto something. It's like I think since those games are so old, we're used to playing them from when we were little kids. That I feel like you kind of do look at them as like almost like your parents. It's like, and you know when you're little and you imagine your parents like hooking up, it like freaked you out, like freaked you out.
That's what it is.
But you know what? I think that those two pairs, they're basically like romance archetypes, but they're not like I feel like their relationships are not really there to be like developed. They're just kind of there to like, they kind of just represent like a general vision of romance.
You're right.
In a specialized world, you know what I mean?
But you know what I just thought of? Actually now, like I'm like I was actually like had a lot of writer's block lately about a Valentine's feature, and I don't think I'm going to do one now. But I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, but you know what's really interesting? Like at the end of a lot of the Mario games, when you beat the game, like, you know, it'll show Peach like kiss Mario and he'll blush, or like whenever you save her, there'll be like fireworks in the shape of hearts, or like when she gets close to him, the heart will surround them. So I'm like, there obviously is some kind of like push towards some romantic connection because all the heart stuff, you know what I mean? It's weird. Like the whole thing is just really weird. It's really interesting to me, to be honest with you. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, I might write all this down. I'm inspired. I just punched my monitor again.
Chad, you gotta stop doing that.
I do. Oh, my favorite question, well, everyone's questions were great, but one that I really, really liked was, and I really want to talk about this definitely before we run out of time, but Kagan asked, he says, what do you guys think about same-sex relationships? Like, for an example, he says Dragon Age 2. He says, does that feel preposterous, or is that a new standard feature in games?
I don't think it's either.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's preposterous. I mean, I'm thrilled to see it.
Me too. I'm so happy to see it. I think it's such a wonderful step forward. But what I really want to happen is I want it to be like, I don't want it to be a focus. Like, I don't want like all of a sudden there to be like a lesbian scene in Mass Effect 3 and then everyone be like, lesbian scene, like spotlight on this. Like, I would love it just to happen in a game where it's so unspoken. Like, imagine Eco, like if Eco had been two young boys instead of like a boy and a girl, like, but have no explanation and just kind of be like, that's the way it is. Like, that would be, to me, like, incredible.
Just be normal.
Yeah. And I think that with all these games kind of putting, you know, the option now of playing as like, you know, same-sex characters and like in couples and all that, I think it's really pushing towards that maybe. So I think that'd be kind of neat. Like, what do you think, Colette?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see same-sex coupling in games handled like in the same way that sex in games kind of started to become like, well, I'm saying started because I think that it's still kind of finding its footing.
It definitely is, yeah.
I feel like, if games are going to be as realistic as they are, I don't see any reason why anything that would happen in real life shouldn't be portrayed in the game in the same type of setting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's same-sex relationships are probably more accepted now than they were before by some people, not everybody, but some. And so I feel like, something that we should probably, I'd like to see it in games and not have people be like, oh my God! Like,
well, exactly. Do you think though,
I really wish it could be like that.
I totally agree. Like, Stella, do you think that gamers like are more open to that, or do you think they're less open because of all like the rumors you hear about all the Gears of War like online, like homophobic comments and stuff? I know that's a little blown out of proportion, but do you think as gamers you think like we'd be more open to it than the general public, or do you think we'd be more
I think we'd be more open with it.
I agree. I think so too. I think a lot of like people with personalities like us, we just would be more open to it.
I think it's just part of this generation. That's why. Mm-hmm. I just feel like we can accept it as a whole and not be closed-minded with it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think our generation, like you said, Stella, would definitely be better and more open about, stuff like that in games. But yeah, we'll see. I think in the next 5 years, it's going to be really interesting. I think we're going to see a lot more of it, people pushing the boundaries and stuff like that, which makes me very happy. I would love to see an RPG. Like, can you imagine something like Lost Odyssey or like something super epic and like with like completely like same-sex couple storyline like throughout the whole thing? That'd be really cool.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love to see like the main romance of a game be between a male or female, like, and have it handled like not scandalously, but like like a real relationship should be handled.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think it's a while yet for us.
I agree. But what would be kind of interesting though, and like, oh God, I don't want to get too much into this. It could be a whole show unto itself. But what would be really interesting is like, in these fantasy worlds, like, Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy IV or whatever, like all these fantasy worlds, they never really talk about like issues that we deal with in our lives. Like they, there's kind of like very generic, like love stories, like all these crazy fantasy elements. But it would be kind of interesting to think cause I guess like in the world of Final Fantasy, like at least not yet, like racism and stuff doesn't really exist. Like as we know racism, like, it's not like people saw Barrett in Final Fantasy VII and they thought, oh, like, he's black, so we're going to treat him differently because he's black. Like, no one even cared, which is amazing. I think that's awesome. I think that's wonderful. But it'd be kind of interesting, I think, maybe if, there were gay characters in a game, and maybe there were some of the same issues that they had to deal with in real life, like, in a fantasy world. Like, that would be kind of cool. So it's like, I don't know, it kind of would maybe bring a little bit of the real-world stuff into this fantasy world, which I actually think would be kind of interesting. I don't think a game's ever done that before, so who knows? That might be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So someone get out there and make it.
Do it.
Do it now.
Yeah, do it.
We'll buy it.
Okay, so there's some other good questions here. We have to wrap up soon, but we'll definitely get to some. I'm going to pull a Twitter question because we didn't really get to any Twitter questions yet in the last few shows, and there's been a lot of great questions through Twitter. So Subenu.
I think it's Subenu.
Yeah, I definitely should go to your expertise because you guys know a lot more about that than I do. This is the perfect question, Colette, because I think we just talked about this. I think you actually sent out a tweet about this today. He says, what games do you own multiple copies of and why? And I think you tweeted today, Colette, about how you own like 4 copies of Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's so funny. I was I loaded up because Stacking came out and I wanted to read it, Mm-hmm. And so or play it rather. And so, I went to look at it and I saw this ad for, Plants vs. Zombies and I was like, oh my God, So I sat there. Actually, what I did was I left the PS3 on all day, just like looking at Plants vs. Zombies, like trying to, And I was like, okay, it's got multiplayer. I get it. Like I had like all these like conflicts with myself, mm-hmm. And I have a free copy which Popcast sent me in the room. Uh-oh. It's really cool. It's a limited version that has a little zombie figure in it.
Ooh, that's cool.
I've seen that version.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, okay. And I talked myself out of it. I was so proud. Instead of buying it for the, 4th time or 5th time or whatever, I just went ahead and installed the version that they sent me for free on my Mac. And I forced myself to play it on the Mac instead.
Now
I really wanted to buy it again.
Now, this is a good question. Like, do you buy them that many times because of the new features, or you just buy it that many times because you just want it on a different system to see kind of how it plays on a different system?
It's weird. Like, I don't know why, but it's something about certain games. The other game that I suffered this with was Puzzle Quest. I was just like obsessed with Puzzle Quest. Like every time, I don't know why. Maybe it was just like, oh, I feel like playing it on a new system. I don't really know. All I know is that every time I'd see it, I'd have the reflex. Like, I'd be like, yeah, I want that. Doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. But like,
I have 6 copies of Persona 3.
Wait, what?
I have 3 copies of Persona 3.
Because the first one, I have 2 copies for some weird reason. Someone gave me a copy and then I bought a copy. And then Persona Fez came out. I had to get the American and the Japanese one because I didn't know the American one was coming out. So I bought the Japanese one. Then Persona P3P came out for the PSP. And so I have 6 copies of the same game.
Yeah, I'm like that. Like, I'm like that with the Final Fantasy, like, 6. I have, like, the Game Boy Advance version.
Yeah.
Or actually Final Fantasy 4. I have the Game Boy Advance version, the Nintendo DS version, the Super Nintendo version. But in a way that those are a little different because they're kind of like upgraded versions. But I'm trying to think if I own the actuals. I don't think I own multiple copies of the exact same version of something though. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I own like 5 like Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo. Like that would be a little bit weird. I can get buying like different versions of a game, but the same game over and over again, that would just be strange.
I keep one for collectors and I keep one to open to play.
Yeah, I get that. Like maybe like one like in the box or something, and then one that you play. Like that.
But I don't know why I have 6 copies of Persona 3.
I think that makes me love you even more, to be honest.
It's ridiculous.
No, I mean I know that feeling though. That feeling where you're like I want to have like I wanted every different copy of Persona of Puzzle Quest for some reason that existed. I don't know why though, but I can feel you on that. Like It doesn't necessarily have to have something new sometimes. It's like, oh, I just want the convenience of playing it on my PSP or something. It's weird.
No, I kind of get that too, actually, because I was in the store the other day and I saw like an old used video game store, and I sold an old copy of Yoshi's Island, which is like my favorite platformer of all time, and I have it like, and it's in great condition, and I have the original box and everything. But I looked at it and I was like, I just want to buy that. I won't do anything with it, but like I just want it. Like I want to have another copy so like I can just feel like, wow, I supported it again. And it was completely irrational, but I'm like, I didn't get it, but I kind of feel like I want to go back and get it because maybe I'll just like wear it as a necklace, like Flava Flav.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
I'm actually not even kidding. I think that when I go to PAX, I think I'm going to wear a Yoshi's Island necklace. And I'll be so happy. I'll start a new style. Super Nintendo bling.
I can totally see that working.
Oh, on that note. Really quickly, I want to also give a shout out to Knives, because not only do I love Knives more than words can say, but he made this hilarious comment that made me laugh, and he was like, you know how the Virtual Console basically doesn't exist anymore on the Wii? Like, it just kind of went away almost completely. He was like, it's kind of a coincidence that it kind of started going away the minute we stopped recording Retro Force Go, and I was like, that is kind of crazy.
Oh, conspiracy.
So I was like, I just wanted to say that I think it's totally true that I think Nintendo stopped releasing Virtual Console games because we stopped recording Retro Force Go. So I just wanted to say that is no coincidence. I think it's real. But anyway, I digress. So if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, I definitely want to do this from now on. Stella, what's your Twitter?
Kawaii Aya. That's Kawaii.
And Colette?
Mine is Colette Bennett, and it's 1 L in Colette and 2 T's in Bennett.
And it's all one word, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I am Chad_Conselmo. If you want to follow us on Twitter. And other than that, we also will probably be having this on iTunes probably after this episode, which is amazing because I think it takes 4 episodes. Maybe it's 5. I don't remember.
I thought it was 5.
It might be 5. I have to check the email again. So if it's 5, then it'll be next episode. But very soon we'll be on iTunes. And we also have an RSS feed coming. And I'm also going to start a Twitter for this podcast soon. So yeah, everything is looking up. We love you guys. We love the support. We think you guys are all the best. And if anything, we will see you all at MagFest. Right, Stella?
Of course.
Damn right.
Damn straight.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you soon.